Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection.
Good morning, Needham High School. I'm Elise Emlich.
And I'm Sydney Penny, and welcome to Needham High School News.
The Technovation Challenge is a team of 5 girls designing, building, and marketing an app to help solve a community problem. The challenge is 12 weeks long and welcomes all talents. An informational meeting will be held today after school at 2:45 in room 209.
We think it's safe to say the homework load in high school can be pretty overwhelming. Here's Noah Schachter for more.
A few weeks ago, we analyzed why students at Needham High School are so tired. Now we will look at the effect that homework has on them.
I feel that today the pressure of being a student is, I think, way greater than it was when I was a student regarding the amount of homework, the amount of things you're trying to balance in your lives.
Schoolwork usually, conflicts with my other obligations.
I think that the amount of homework that NHS assigns is unacceptable for this day and age.
I don't think the homework load is gigantic, but I feel like NHS sometimes assigns too much homework depending on the teacher or the class or the grade or level.
Usually if you manage your time well, then it's okay, but I think sometimes some teachers will just assign busy work, and I just don't think that's helpful.
If I had less homework, I wouldn't mind, but since I'm going off to college next year, hopefully, I mean, it's kind of preparing me for this year. Is kind of preparing me for that.
For NHSN, I'm Noah Schachter.
Thanks, Noah. A reminder to all the theater kids, auditions for the spring musical Cinderella will take place on Monday, December 8th and Tuesday, December 9th. For more information about auditions and signups, take a look at the board in the music hallway outside room 612, or visit Mr. Ledoux's website, which can be found on the NHS website under the Contact Us Fine and Performing Arts tab.
Speaking of Cinderella, the Dramatic Society is commissioning original art for the show. Your art could be displayed on the posters and programs, and all NHS students are eligible. Check out Mr. Ledoux's website for details.
As all NHS students know, the upper parking lot is very mysterious. Let's hear from Sarah Partridge as she explores its profound secrets.
Today we're going to take a closer look on some of the more serious issues here at Needham High School. The girls and I have noticed copious amounts of trash both in the hallways, in the cafeteria, on these parking lots. Oh, it's a serious issue that we need to talk about. Ladies, let's talk trash. All of this trash here could potentially pose as a great safety hazard for students at Needham High. Are you okay? Originally this was supposed to be a joke, but actually... look what we have here. Yet another piece. Ew! So I'm pretty sure this is urine.
Thanks, Sarah. Last week, the high school held the annual homecoming dance, where we had a blast.
More like an NHS rocket blast.
Next up is Jody Quinter telling us about some changes that homecoming had since last year.
This year at homecoming, there were a couple of new changes that took place. This year, there was a black and white theme, as well as the encouragement to bring a date. The hope was to bring in even more people than past years, as well as to make it an even more fun experience overall.
We as a student council were really happy with how this year's homecoming turned out. There was an increase in attendance from recent years, which we were really happy about. And people really seemed to like the black and white theme, and everyone was dressed up in it, and it looked really nice. We had a lot more decorations this year, which I think really helped to improve the quality of the dance. We had a black and white movie projected onto one of the walls, which people seemed to really like. And we also had a photo booth this year, so big thanks to the photo students that helped us out with that. We also had some really good food, and so I think that just the improvements that we made this year, people really seemed to like, and a big thank you to everyone that came out.
For NHSN, I'm Jody Quinter.
Thanks, Jody.
Now we'll go to Zach Kaplan for sports.
Sports.
Thanks, guys. We hope you had a happy Thanksgiving last week, and we have quite a bit to catch up on since our last newscast. We begin with some state championships that happened while we were gone. For the first time since 1984, the girls' soccer team is state champions. The girls beat Algonquin 3-0 on November 21st in the D1 state final. Rachel Kingston put in 2 goals, and Kathleen Rizzo added one of her own as the Rockets got over some misfortune in recent years to become state champions. Congrats to them on a great playoff run. The girls' cross-country team, I don't know what to say about them anymore. They have won the state championship for the 3rd consecutive year. The Rockets won by 1 point over Lincoln Sudbury as the dynasty continued. Margie Cullen's 3rd place finish was good enough for her to move on to regionals. And of course, the big story last week, the game at Fenway Park on Thursday. In the 128th meeting of Needham and Wellesley, it was the Rockets who came out on top. Sam Foley found John Andre for a touchdown on the first drive to put the Rockets up 6-0, but Wellesley answered when Jake Mohan ran in a touchdown to take a 7-6 lead. Just before the half, Wellesley was about to score, but look at this. Picked off by Joe Gowetsky, who takes it 97 yards in the other direction. A game-changing play and perhaps one of the biggest in the Needham-Wellesley rivalry to date. In the second half, it was defense that dominated, and Wellesley had a great chance to take the lead, but a big goal line stand by the Rockets held them at bay. Wellesley would have one more chance to take the lead, but was denied, and Needham went on to win 12-7, finishing the season at 9-3. We'd also like to acknowledge the Powder Puff team who knocked off Wellesley for the 10th consecutive year. They won 7-0 last Wednesday as Kathleen Rizzo punched in the only touchdown of the game. Dee Paku tacked on the extra point from a reported 32 yards out, which raises the question of why she hasn't kicked for the football team. For our athletes of the fall season, we have both the female and male recipient of the honor. For the ladies, we'd like to congratulate Rachel Kingston as our female athlete of the fall season. She led their offense, and even after missing a few games, came back to put in 2 goals in the state championship. For the boys, it is Joe Gowetsky. I tried to figure out how many tackles he had this year, but I lost track, around 100 or so. His aforementioned pick 6 proved to be the difference against Wellesley as he led the Rockets defense this season. Reminder, if you know someone who deserves the honor this winter, or you think he should be the player of the week, stop by room 49 during homeroom. That's it for sports. Be sure to check back in with us as the winter season gets underway. For NHSN Sports, I'm Zach Kaplan.
Thanks, Zach. Pep Rally was last week, and it was a crazy time. Here are some of the highlights from the performances.
We hope you thoroughly enjoyed our majestic first broadcast.
Tune in with Adina and Steve next week for the NHS News. We'll see you later, Alligator.
Oh, really? Okay.
Just be like, be kind of like into it, you know what I mean?
Okay, I'll be really into it.
Remember, we're peppy, we have to be cool.
Woo, woo, woo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll channel my Adina. Okay.